about to do that.
Hey, you guys, welcome to the Dynasty United Team Call. I am coming super mobile today, but I'm excited. I'm eating lunch at Panera and chatting with Lindsey as we get prepared for her to share a team call with us that I think is going to be so awesome. So, you guys, Lindsey is talking to us about connect, and for this because I feel like Lindsey is so good at this. I had a chance to kind of glimpse at what she's prepared for the call today, and it is just going to be amazing. So I'm sorry about the little bit of background noise, but I didn't want to miss this. I wanted to make sure that we had full opportunity to let Lindsey share. You guys, she's a diamond coach. She was recently one of the official test group participants for 22-minute hardcore, which was really fun to kind of watch her journey there. And you guys, she's a Success Club All-Star. She's one of my closest friends, somebody that inspires me on the daily with her, just like the visual aspect that she has on her page, as well as the way she words things and the way that she kind of casts her vision through social media. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to her because so she has the full 30 minutes with you guys. So make sure that you, I know she's going to tell you guys this, but be sure that you've got pen and paper because you're going to want to jot down notes. You're going to want to jot down reminders for yourself to take some action steps after this call because it is solid information. So, Linz, I'm going to go ahead and turn it on over to you, girl, and I'm here if you need anything. Thank you so much for doing this call for us.
All right. Okay, so I'm going to do the can you guys hear me thing. And I know it takes a few seconds, so if y'all just let me know if you can hear. Okay, I think I just saw a yes. All right, so Brittany is super sweet and super gracious. It's so crazy to be hosting today's call because I remember being a new coach like a year and a half ago and tuning into these and like hanging off of every word and thinking, oh my gosh, one day, someday, it would be so crazy to host a call. So being on here today is like super surreal and I'm very honored and I don't take it lightly either. I'm super nervous because I know that these calls have an impact. So anyways, thank you guys for listening in. As Brittany mentioned today, I am talking about connecting your message to your vision and how knowing your message and having a vision really makes such a difference in your business. It has for me. So let me share my slides. 1 second, guys. And then if you'll just let me know if you can see my slides real quick, that would be great. And then I think that's, oops, hang on. I guess I should probably check to see if y'all can see it first. Okay, you're probably going to be able to see my screen now. Can you see a slide at all? Okay, all right, I'm gonna make it bigger. All right, so connecting your message to your vision. Obviously, the first thing that you guys have to know is what your message is. And this might seem like super straightforward and like oh, I know my message, but it really takes some thought. What you need to know, guys, is that your message isn't just Beachbody. You can go on to Instagram, Facebook, whatever these days, and pull up probably a dozen or more people. When you look through their information, when you look at their posts and see what they're communicating, all they're communicating is their multi-level marketing company. And that's not what people connect to. They don't buy into that because it's not genuine and it doesn't set you apart. So what you need to know is that—
sorry to interrupt, girl. Your slides aren't showing up for some reason.
Oh, they aren't?
Just wanted to make sure I interrupt you before.
No, that's okay. What about now?
Let's see. Not yet. I know that the people on the call have a delay, but it's not showing up for me on Google Hangout.
Is it just me?
Yeah, it's just you on webcam now. You look beautiful. But maybe do, oh, there we go. There they go.
What about now?
Okay. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm so sorry. Okay, there we go.
Perfect.
Okay. All right. So what I was saying is you've got to know that your mission or that your message isn't just Beachbody, but it's actually where you've been, where you are, and where that you're going. I was going to try to make it where you guys could just see the content. Okay. All right. There we go. So
sorry, Lynn.
Your message.
Sorry, Lynn, that made you go away. I think you have to keep him in that window.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I was trying to make it where you guys could just like see it. Okay. All right.
It's good though. We can see it when you had it like that in the window. That's perfect.
Okay. I'll leave it like that. All right. So like for me, it was really hard to try to figure out and put on paper what my message was because you can't spell message without mess. And that sounds really cheesy, but it's true. For me, it would be easy to say, oh, my life changed when I joined Beachbody and I started drinking Shakeology and pressing play every day. But for me, Beachbody was a part of my journey. But what's most important, what people connect to with my message is that where I was being a frustrated, discouraged, stuck wife, embarrassed by my body and things that I had let slip in my life. I struggled with confidence when it came to intimacy in my marriage. I struggled with emotional eating. But where I am now is I'm encouraged and I feel empowered. I've learned to give myself grace through all of my shortcomings because I know that I'm on a journey and that I'm always going to be making myself better. And Beachbody plays into all of that, but it's so important that you make your message very personal because your message is powerful. And when you share those personal pieces of who you are and you're sharing your message, that is when you're going to connect with and impact certain people and essentially help change their life. So you've got to know what your message actually is, and it can't just be Beachbody. The meat of your message is all of the stuff between then and now, and then it's how Beachbody played a role in it. And then once you know your message, like I said, you're going to start speaking directly to people. They're going to relate to you, and that's when you identify who your audience is. So when it comes to knowing who your audience is, you've got to realize a couple of things. The first thing that you've got to realize is that you can't help everyone, and it's totally fine. You've got to stop trying to reach the masses, because when you're trying to reach 100 different people, you're trying to be 100 different things, and it just doesn't end up being genuine. So let me give you an example of this. When I was a new coach, I felt like I didn't want to miss out on helping people. I felt like if I didn't speak to everyone, that I would miss somebody. And so when I made my posts and when I typed things out and made my graphics, I was trying to reach the masses, and that was men and women of all different ages. And so my natural aesthetic changed, and the way that I was talking to people changed. It just wasn't genuine or sincere. So you've got to stop trying to reach the masses and try to speak to your specific audience. When you realize who your audience is by identifying what your message is, you'll realize who you can best serve based on knowing their needs, their struggles, their fears, and their objections, because you've been there and you've done that. And then knowing what your message is and knowing who your audience is that you're speaking to isn't just going to best serve other people. It's actually going to best serve you, because these people that you're going to start connecting with are people that you're going to enjoy working with. It's just going to be more natural for you. So I have a little tip with trying to figure out who your audience is once you know your message, is going through and doing the ideal coach customer avatar exercise. And that exercise, I think, is in the Dynasty United Coach Family page in the file section. So I encourage you guys to pull that up and to go through that process. It's super specific, and it's kind of weird to go through and answer like those very specific questions. But it's very helpful, and it provides you with direction. So go through and do that. Again, it should be in the file section. And also, if you Google Katie Hefner, she actually posted on her blog something about this. And I went through Katie Hefner's blog when I did the exercise, which was just a couple of months ago, because again, it takes time and it's a little bit intimidating to like really narrow in on who it is that you're talking to and to get that specific. But again, just Google Katie Hefner, and I believe that her exercise is called Branding Yourself, but it's very helpful. And again, it'll just provide you with so much direction and give you clarity when you're coming up with your posts. It'll make sure that everything that you're communicating to people is genuine, and you'll sync up with the right people during that process. So your message will reveal your audience, but it also reveals your mission. So this is, or these three things here are part of an exercise that I just recently did when I was reading through the Dave Ramsey book called EntreLeadership. If you guys haven't read that, there's so much valuable business wisdom in that book. But he talks about how to come up with your mission statement. And you should have a mission statement, whether it's just you right now as a new coach, or whether you're leading a new team, or if you haven't come up with a mission statement and your team isn't a baby team, you should really go back and do this exercise. But what he prompts you to do is to jot down a list going through these three things. So the first thing that you need to go through and start writing down is what your expertise and abilities are. These are things that you do now, that you want to do, and that you can do. And then the second thing that you need to write down is what your personality traits are. And just remember that details really matter. This is important. And I'm going to give you an example of these, but go through and write down personality traits. Like when I think of those, I think of the Dynasty United cornerstones, you know, talking about tenacity and resiliency, things like that. And then number 3, values, dreams, and passions. And that takes a hot minute to write down. All of this stuff does, but you should really dig deep and write down what your mission is for yourself and for your team. And this will probably be in bullet point form when you go through initially and write down your answers. But just meditate over those and really pray over them. That's what I had to do. And this step actually I just did pretty recently too, so this is all really fresh for me. But I just wrote down a bunch of bullet points and I prayed over that for my team and for my business. Just praying that God would reveal who it is that I'm supposed to reach, what it is that I'm supposed to do with my abilities and my passions and my dreams. And then I wrote down some full statements. Now, once you have your mission statements, guys, this will keep you genuine. You can use your mission statement essentially as a way to gut check before you decide to post and to reach out to people. It essentially keeps you grounded. You can ask yourself before you invite somebody, before you make a big decision in your business, before you post something that's really big, you can ask, does this align with your mission statement? So your message reveals your mission. And then finally, your message reveals your vision. Having a vision really lights a fire within you. We all get really excited when we have a vision for ourselves and for our business and for our team, and because it gives us a sense of purpose and direction. When you start having that vision, I think that your team sees it, your challenger sees it, your upline sees it, because it comes through in your actions and in your words and in your posts. But the important thing is, you don't want to just stop at finally having a vision. You can't just stop there. You've got to set some goals, and you've got to back them with action. So you've probably heard this before, talking about like SMART goals. It's a very similar concept, but it's important. So write this down. Goals that work are 5 things. They are specific, they are measurable, they have a time limit. Obviously, they're your goals, so they're personal, and they're in writing. So you can't just say, I want to be a diamond coach this year because that's the next step as a coach for me. And I'm just going to keep it up here in my mind because obviously I know that that's something I want to do, and I'm just going to make it happen. I've made that mistake before, and me presenting this call and this challenge to you guys today is challenging myself, because I have a lot of goals that I need to update, goals that I need to put down on paper. So an example of a very specific, measurable, timely, personal written goal would be this over here on the right. I want to achieve diamond rank by July 2016 by helping 6 women discover the value of coaching, and by equipping my potential leaders to duplicate what I've done through simple training. Reaching diamond will not only allow me to advance in rank, but to move closer to my family's income goals. So it's a long one, but it's specific. And I think when you read that, like, it's personal, it's something that you're attached to, and it's important for you to reach. So a challenge for all of us is to write down our goals, put them in your office, put them somewhere that you see all the time. Goals are what is said to convert your vision into energy. So I'm going to give you guys a call to action. And I know that I'm going through this call really fast. I don't think that I meant to initially, but I was so distracted by all the slides. But I also am going to give you guys kind of an example of how this all has played through for me at the end. But my call to action for you guys is a lot. I'm going to post all of these slides in the Coach Family page because obviously there's several steps to this. But the first step is that you need to write down what your message actually is. You need to really figure out who you were and where you were at before you made a lifestyle change, where you are now, and where you're going, because you have to have foresight to be successful. But then you need to figure out how Beachbody has been a part of it. Beachbody is obviously the vehicle for success for all of us. It's a vehicle that's made us healthier. It's a vehicle that's made us successful in our business. But all of those things that are personal to you, things that you've overcome, things that your family has struggled with, the difference in your life now, that's your message. So you need to write that down. That way you can break it up and you can even share it in posts with people. But then go and write down your audience too, and that's not a question. Write down who your audience is. Take some time to do that exercise to figure out who your ideal coach and customer is. Because again, that's not just going to identify who you can best help, but it's going to identify who you're actually going to enjoy working with. Because I think we all know that we best work with people that we have a connection with on some level. That doesn't mean that your coaches and your challengers have to be exactly like you, because we don't want to be cookie cutter people producing cookie cutter coaches. We want to be unique, but we want to have commonalities. So, you know, Brittany and I have a lot of things in common, but we're also very different. But gosh, like, we mesh. And I know that that's the case with a lot of her other coaches. But the way that you connect with those people, the way that Brittany connected with me, was how she spoke and how she posted on her page. It was genuine, and I was so drawn to it. So when you know your audience, you can start tailoring your invites, your posts, and your wording to them. And then number 3, start brainstorming your mission. And that is steps 1 through 3 on that other slide. And the slides will be shared so you can go back to it. But start brainstorming it. You know, just have a piece of paper and start making bullet points. It's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be like some gorgeous long paragraph about your super fancy mission at first. It's just going to be going through those steps, writing things down, visualizing how your mission will change as it's just you, and then as it becomes a vision for your team as well. But go through and start writing things down, pray over those, meditate over them, and then in time, you will be able to come up with a really solid mission statement that you can gut check yourself with as you work through your business, as you add to your team. And then number 4 is write down your goals so that you can put your message and your mission into action. Because once you figure out your message and you've got a vision, you're doing yourself and other people a disservice if you don't put goals and action to it. Make it personal, give yourself a deadline. I'm speaking to myself here, so hold me accountable to that, but I think we could all really benefit from going through all these steps, putting it down on paper, and then sharing it within our group so that we're being transparent, so that we're being accountable, and so that we're encouraging each other. Guys, the whole concept of writing down your goals and having a vision isn't just something that we tell you as coaches. I think a lot of us on this call, fortunately, are sisters in Christ, and in Habakkuk 2:2, it actually tells us, write the vision and make it plain. But if that doesn't speak to you for some reason, we have a lot of respect for Dave Ramsey. He's an incredible author and business guru, but he even says himself that the written goal is the breakfast of champions. So I challenge you to go through this call to action. It's not going to be something that you can probably do in one day, but make some time to start going through these steps. And this final slide is kind of my journey recently, and it's not at all to intimidate you guys because it's a lot of information on one slide. But it's just to give you an idea of what it looks like and where all of your bullet points will end up eventually. I should have taken a picture of what my journal looks like, of how this all started to get to this point. But this is my Gracefully Balanced mission statement and kind of the steps that I went through, writing down our expertise and abilities as individuals and as a team to help and empower women to cast a vision, talking about our team and community personality of being genuine, transparent, dedicated, resilient, resourceful, what we offer from mentorship to community to wellness experience to business resources, and then going through and listing out your values and dreams and your passions, how you're going to impact people and offer business opportunity and see health radically change, things like that. So don't be intimidated by this slide, but just know that going through and making those bullet points will end up bringing you to a place where you have such a clear vision. And then it's just a matter of backing your vision with written goal and then putting it into action every day. And that's pretty much it. That's my call, guys. I'm so sorry about the mix up with screen sharing and all that jazz. I don't even know. I think I'm on here now, but I'm not techie at all. So this was a learning moment for me. I needed it. But I hope that was helpful information. And I think that what we'll do, I think we're okay on time. If you guys had a couple of questions, I'm going to put the chat box side by side right now. And you're welcome to write any down and I'll try to answer them. But I know that some of this is just a matter of like really taking the time to answer questions and go over things. So if you guys want to go through this process and look at the slides later, you're welcome to do that. And then I can answer any questions in the coach family. But I hope that was helpful, guys. It makes such a big difference. Just knowing what your message is and connecting it to a vision. It comes across in your posts and how you talk, and how you make your graphics. It makes you uniquely you, and that's what people really connect with. So anyways, oh, thank you guys. Y'all are so nice. What did I say? The best thing I did was figuring out my vision. I sat down with a journal. So it's kind of funny. When I got to that point in the Dave Ramsey book, I changed my personal development because I wasn't ready for it yet. I was like, that's just too much. It's too many steps. But I realized that I really needed to put it down on paper. So I came back to it and I sat down with my journal. I was actually outside and I just started making bullet points. I just started writing things down. In fact, let me see if I can scroll back through. But what I did was once I wrote those things down, I think this was the second draft. Once I wrote those things down, I prayed over it. I meditated over it because I wanted to make sure that not only are the right people coming to me, but that I'm being bold, reaching out to the right people too. And so that I can gut check the things that I say and how that I'm posting and make sure I'm moving in the right direction. So I made bullet points and I prayed over it and I meditated on it. So the name of the book is Entree Leadership. And it's funny because, you know, obviously that's not the point of the whole book, but it's a huge part of it. So yep, Entree Leadership by Dave Ramsey. Okay, I haven't even scrolled back through yet. I don't know that there was anything else, but if I missed something, I will definitely make sure I answer it. Okay, well, I know that everyone has obligations and work to get to and family and stuff, so I'm not going to keep you guys, but thank you for getting on the call. Thank you for bearing with me. I hope that you guys were able to take some notes and that you'll be able to move your business forward, or at least just have more purpose behind your action and the words that you say and the things that you do. So I love you guys, and I hope that you guys have a great day. And I think